Warlord, book for boys, 1981. The best of war action. The historical feature inside the cover is about the Battle of the Atlantic, which went on from 1939 until 1945. First story is Union Jack Jackson, and can't help but noticing in this one the size of the type is quite big. Yeah, it's much bigger than it normally is. Next story is about the Africa Corps, and it's called Big Willie by the tank commander. Next up is Codename Warlord, and it goes back in time at the start. After a bloody battle in 1863, British troops captured the famous war drum of the proud Zombali tribe. Years later, in World War II, the drum marked the start of another dangerous mission for Britain's top secret agent, Lord Peter Flint. There's more fighting the Zulus again. Harrier ski jump is a type of launching system for Harriers. Killer Kane, RAF, fighter pilot. Come Fly With Me, Lord Peter Flint. Shows us how to make a paper helicopter that actually flies. Kampfgruppe Falcon, another tale from Kursk in Russia. Next up is a feature on the Chinook twin rotor heavy lifting helicopter. That's been used for a long time by the US and other forces around the world. Kelly's Choppers. This is set in Korea, 1951. I remember when this came out. Got some good artwork here. Then we have Wolverine, and this is the Ardennes. And it's about an American designed M10 tank destroyer based on the Sherman tank. The Turncoat, Secret Files of the Wehrmacht. Okay. Training of a Tankie. This also appeared in another episode of the annual. Yeah, some of the features appeared in different guises over the years. Union Jack Jackson continues from page 11. Lord Peter Flint shows us how to make another paper aircraft in this feature. And then we have the Shark. This was one of my favourite stories back in the late 70s. It's about a German E-boat, which was a motor patrol boat that also had torpedoes. The artwork in this was really cool. It has kind of a dark, kind of moody atmosphere to it. It always looks like nighttime. The artwork is great. Yet again, another paper plane from Lord Peter Flint, and then a feature, Codename Warlord. Kind of a James Bond, really. Here we have a feature on wire guided missiles, and they're called Tank Killers. Cassidy! Yeah, 1945, somewhere in the Pacific. US Marine Corps fighter pilot Jake Cassidy. He was the leader of a squadron called the Fighting Numbskulls, fighting the Japanese. HMS Smokey Joe. This is a story about a Royal Navy minesweeper, a battered old one at that. The longest battle. For 6 years, German U-boats waged non-stop war against Allied shipping in the Atlantic. So that's all about that. Just giving you the kind of history of it and how the Allies developed different ways of combating the U-boats, which were a menace at the start, but in the end they had heavy losses, and it was 30,000 men lost. They never came back. Iron Annie, Kurt Stahlmann in his Ju-52 fighting the Russians. Here you go. Good artwork again. Here is kind of, you have got to match up the different stem and sterns of ships. Type of a quiz, I suppose. Then you have the best of enemies. This is 1952 in Korea. It's another Korea story here. There you go. The US fighting the communists as usual. And the final part of Lord Peter Flint's Come Flying With Me, and he makes a little paper plane called the Dove. Okay, we got more Killer Kane. It's continued from page 32. And that more or less wraps it up. On the back pages you've got the historic piece about the U-boats in the Atlantic. So that's it. That's Warlord, book for boys, 1981. This would have been published in late 1980. And that's it.